Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to yet another match preview show. Yes, the Reds are back in action. That might be a good thing, that might be a bad thing, but either way, the Reds are back in action tomorrow night against Wolves in the third round, of course, FA Cup replay against Wolves. Look, I think many of us aren't looking too forward to the game, the way Liverpool are at the moment. But again, look, hopefully the Reds can turn things around. We are going to be discussing those things in tonight's show. Anyway, and of course, we're not only going to mention and we're not only going to talk about the Wolves game, we are, of course, going to be talking about the news as well concerning the potential bid from Qatar for, for Liverpool Football Club, of course, and we are going to be speaking about, FSG and so on in tonight's episode again. And of course, we are going to talk about mainly that Qatar bid that is on the table by the looks of things. But again, nothing concrete, nothing, solid, then I should say anyway. And of course, we are going to be speaking a little bit as well of what Jurgen Klopp has had to say today in his press conference. And of course, if you guys have checked out our YouTube shorts, and he's already spoken about the new potential investment or ownership anyway. But we're having a bit more chat anyway about Jurgen Klopp and about what he has said today anyway. But Doug, I can see you in the chat saying hi, Conor Romano. Thank you, Doug, for that. Brian as well saying hi, Connor as well. Brian, thank you very much for tuning in, my friend. As well, if there is anyone new around here, because from yesterday there has been a few subscribers, so thank you very much for subscribing. If you're new around here, as always, then please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button as well. It does massively help out the channel, and it does massively help out the YouTube algorithm and that as well. And we are posting more now on Shorts and TikTok and all that things. So I've been speaking to a few of the boys, and it does help out with the algorithm as well anyway. So again, all the support is massively appreciated as always. And guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on everything that we mention in tonight's show anyway. But let's get on then to the news, and let's talk about Qatar wanting to buy Liverpool Football Club. Now, of course, yesterday after we did our show, talking about whose fault is it potentially for Liverpool's problems, FSG, Jurgen, the players, and so on, there was an exclusive from, of course, the Anfield Talk, which again, they are the most reliable people when you're looking for news and so on and so forth. Anyway, but again, like we mentioned it as it says, but there anyway, Qatar are given a priority to the obviously to Liverpool Football Club, and are seriously interested, but the deal is not yet completed at the present moment in time. We will see over the next couple of days, and it will be interesting to see, guys, as well, whether or not FSG would sell with the first bid that does come in the door. Of course, it would be interesting to know whether or not the estimation will be met, of course. And we'll take a quick look as well at a few things that has come out, suggesting how much FSG would want potentially for Liverpool Football Club as well. But again, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But according to 442 as well, or the article that this is from 442, saying that Liverpool set for a monstrous takeover bid from Qatar in February as well, which again, that was explained yesterday in yesterday's in yesterday's talk as well, that we were speaking about in yesterday's video. And it goes on to say Liverpool could be about to be in the money with a Qatar group set to bid for the Reds as well. It does go on to mention Liverpool bracing themselves to be taken over by super rich Middle Eastern owners. In the last 18 months, both Newcastle and Chelsea have had huge takeovers, with a recent report from Sky Sports linking Tottenham with an investment from PSG owners Qatar Sports Investment. And now it seems like the Merseysiders are next with their own ownership, Fenway Sports Group, having put the club up for sale recently. And if I quickly scroll all the way down. Qatar journalist Mohammed, I'm just going to leave it as that. Again, I don't want to butcher anyone's names, has claimed that Qatar are given priority to the acquisition of Liverpool Football Club and are seriously interested, but the deal is not yet complete at the present moment. We will see in the next few days. And as well, the Telegraph saying February bid is apparently likely. Well, according to the Mirror, FSG want a minimum of 4 billion for the club, having asked Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley to assess assets at the club as well. So let me know, guys, your thoughts on FSG. Potentially, asking around 4 billion for the football club. Of course, it would be a record-breaking deal, of course, for a sale for a Premier League club, at least the Premier League club. Of course, I don't even know in terms of the numbers for an overall sale anyway, guys. But I will go back to as well, and I will quickly show you guys an article from of course, David Lynch back in December, and this is what we said in yesterday's show. David Lynch reported, as you can see there, on the 12th December, reporting that there was a 3.2 billion pound bid, meant to be gathering some pace between a Saudi Qatari consortium. Well, now it looks like that it is just going to be not a Saudi group anymore. It does just look like it's going to be a Qatari group that does bid for Liverpool Football Club. There were rumours and suggestions as well that a bid was potentially put on the table, or early sayings of a 3.6 billion pound deal, which again, that would be crazy money, absolutely crazy money. And again, I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, or if you're watching on YouTube shows or TikTok or anything like that, because it's going to be interesting. And if FSG want a minimum of 4 billion, you are looking then, I think, of that 4 billion, 4.5 billion, somewhere in between there for the football club. And again, how do you guys feel about that? Do you want a Qatari owner? Would you like a Middle Eastern owner? Of course, I know plenty of people will be like, it isn't the Liverpool way. It isn't the fact that we've been so against this over the last couple of seasons with the teams like PSG, Manchester City, for example, as well. But it does feel like this is a huge turning point in Liverpool Football Club's history, in terms of we've been at such a high level over the last couple of years under FSG, under the new under the regime of FSG, and it's worked well. But on the business side as well, of course, and just everything in general has been okay. But to take us to that next level, there is a massive amount of investment needed in this football club, and of course we've seen that even today. And Jurgen even speaking about it, of course, and him saying about look, we've spoken about new investment, but there is nothing else to add on what's already been said to the press anyway. But of course, it does feel like there is a bit more that Jurgen could potentially tell us, but of course he's not going to tell us, of course, because Jurgen is a very, very smart man, of course. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below, because I think it will be very, very interesting to know everyone's thoughts and everyone's opinions in the comments, because again, there will be background checks, there will be stuff done to make sure that it is the right owners. And again, it is the sense of once again, is it the right thing for Liverpool Football Club, and will it make sense for Liverpool overall? And I think that's the important thing. Will it take care of the club itself? Will it take care of the city, and many other things, and many other important little bits and pieces as well? But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below anyway. But it is going to be an interesting couple of days or weeks as well coming up, of course. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on the news. But let's dive into it. Gary Sintic, Taliobian, have you let's new owners, because I have as well. No, not yet, Gary. Not yet. Hi, Gary and Mark as well. Says Brian. Chris says, how are you, Brian? How are you? Hope you're well, Connor. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Mark. Again, apart from the football and apart from a few things, again, Liverpool are not the best at the present moment in time on the pitch. So again, it's not the best. But look, at the end of the day, hopefully good things around the corner. Anyway, but Hannah says, evening all, so many streams tonight. Yeah, loads of great channels commenting and doing brilliant content. So again, go and check everyone out. If there's anyone in the stream as well, then please, go and check other people's channels as well. But depressed about the Qatar bid, says Brian as well. You really, Brian? Let me know a bit more as well. But it's bad luck that Diaz, Firmino, Jota, I'm guessing you said Virgil there, Raz, as well. Yeah, you do go on to say Virgil. To be fair, we need those back. I think Jota is a huge miss, a massive miss for Liverpool. But yeah, I would agree 1,000%. Hi, Brian. Hope you are well. Brian says no to state ownership as well. It doesn't look to be the case. I'm going to quickly find if I can have a look if there is any more on it. Because again, this happened, as soon as we ended the stream yesterday. And it was just like I got off, looked on Twitter, and it was just there, and I was like, for God's sake, like why didn't it come up? But yeah, it's that sense of though as well that even though look there is a potential talks or so on, it does seem very much so that a first bid won't get accepted straight away. Like FSG want around 4 billion or a bit more than 4 billion for the football club because that's how much it's worth. And as we've seen from transfers under FSG, Liverpool like to get the best out of everything, as well as you guys should know, in terms of transfers. But it is that sense at the minute, though, guys, where look, we've been against it. I've been against it over the last couple of years, concerning certainly Manchester City, and you even look at Chelsea now in some extent. Todd Bowley spending what 600 million in 6 months. 600 million. I mean 500 million. Sorry, in 6 months. In Chelsea, that's just ridiculous. And again, we're not asking for 600 or 500 600 million being spent in in the space of 6 months. I think what Liverpool are asking for, and what I think all of us are asking for, like I mentioned yesterday, is the fact that we want that extra little bit. So, for example, like back in the summer, we bought Darwin Núñez for whatever amount. And again, look at this window, for example, we've bought Gakpo, and that's it now. We can't go out of that if we want, A, B, and C in the summer. We can't now go after and go and get a midfielder where maybe someone now comes in and invests. Maybe we could fix a problem in January instead of having to wait 6 months for the summer window. And I think that's the difference, isn't it? Where look again, we don't want to be talking about the owners, of course. Look, I'd much rather be talking about Liverpool and the football club and really speaking just purely on the football. But when we have problems that aren't getting fixed behind the scenes and with ownership and so on, again, we have to think about this because I think this is probably the most that an ownership in Liverpool Football Club's history has been spoken about, apart from Hicks and Gillette towards the back end and so forth. And I think that's the again, we don't want to think about the ownership. We don't want to be speaking about the ownership. I want to be speaking about Liverpool on the pitch, and Jurgen Klopp and maybe transfers here and there, but again, not nothing important backstage. But again, I think something will happen. Not saying that it's going to be done deal in February. I don't think that is going to be the case. It is going to be a bit of a long draw out, but I think obviously Qatar want Liverpool, and of course the last time Liverpool was in Qatar, that meant anything. We did win the Club World Cup, so again, that's a bit of nostalgia there, to be fair, if we want to, put that as anything. But again, I want to know your guys' thoughts, and I want to know your thoughts and opinions on it. Anyway, for the first part of the show tonight, honestly, I just want this ownership BS to be over, so we can go back to football. We absolutely can. What you mean, the Liverpool way as well? Don't have a choice though, Brian, as well. Forget what else do we have? I think the chat's has the chat gone up? Yeah, the chat's gone up. For God's sake. Um, Forget Spirit of Shankly Group. Again, they're the closest thing towards the um, towards the fan base and the boards. So I would say no to that as well. I get you at Brian. State ownership would cut the heart and soul out of the club as well. Again, those are things that we do have to take into consideration and look at realistically. But private citizens would be absolutely fine. I think it is more towards that. If I'm being awfully honest, as well, we haven't, and again, we don't know who the bid is from. That again, we're speaking about that people are talking about the fact that again, Liverpool are getting a bid being put in for the Liverpool, but we don't know who it's from and what the background is. And as soon as we know that, if it's all okay, then fair enough. If and that's the thing. And again, we don't know whether or not if it's an investment or a proper bid. Again, there's no there's a bid on the way, but whether or not that's for like a 51-49 type situation or something else, then we don't know. I think it will be a full sale now, um, with the suggestions that a huge bid and a monstrous bid is coming. I would think that, but again, to be fair, I do think as well that it will particularly be just you know just that as well. And again, guys, please respect other people's comments and views as well, in the comment section down below. That's to everyone, as well, by the way. Hi, Connor, and everyone in chat. Show me the money, says Alan. For God's sake, Al. Show me the money. Again, it's that thing, isn't it? Where if we could keep the same, model in terms of, again, we don't need to go and splash the cash every single summer. But again, we don't need, you know, we need that extra little bit here and there, in many regards. But again, people will have different views and different opinions as well. Daniel O'Brien as well. Eventon as well, saying times have changed. We've got to move with it if we want to compete. Nothing is ever ideal as well. And it is that sense, isn't it, as well, chat, that with trillionaires and billionaires, it's always the case of do they they don't ever get their money through truly get their money, if you get what I mean. There's always a but in that regard as well. And with it, it does seem that again, what's been rumored, it seems to be that it's an okay step for Liverpool, but again, there's nothing concrete that I can say, oh yeah, 100% this is the person that's bidding 3.6, 3.7 billion for Liverpool. There's nothing. There's just an expectation that there will be a bid in the next couple of weeks. So again, we have to stay patient, and we have to just bite our tongues for now. Anyway, but again, the news that we did speak about again is the fact that of course we could potentially see a bid over the next couple of weeks or so. I just don't want us controlled by regimes. I don't like the thought of being used as PR. Yeah, I would agree 100% on that, Brian. Agree, Brian. We just don't need to be state owned to complete. Yeah, absolutely. Brian Hanna, we are not competing, not right now. But again, if we get the right owners in, I think again, you give Jurgen Klopp the resources and the funds that he needs and wants, then there you go. In the rebuild as well. There are plenty of private citizens who are richer than FSG who can invest much more. We don't need to be some state-owned puppet club, says Hannah. Those are just my personal thoughts. We need a total shake-up, but money has to be used correctly. Absolutely agree with that, Mark. Absolutely. And again, that's the thing, isn't it? Where I think pretty much that is the correct way of doing it. And again, we will spend money if potentially on the future on the wrong players. Again, that happens at certain clubs in certain areas. But when you have Jurgen Klopp and hopefully a bit more of the transfer committee, or and that's another question as well. If new owners do come in, do they completely change what we've been doing behind the scenes? Did they change the data side of it? Do they keep those people in place? Do they do this, that, and the other? And again, we won't know anything of that until it happens. And of course, we've got people already leaving, like Michael, it's already gone. Julian Ward, of course, Ian Graham got also going head of data analysis. And so forth, and one or two people behind the scenes as well have also gone, that have been, I think, unnamed or whatever, and that's the thing where it is a rebuild for Liverpool. Not only on the pitch, everything behind the scenes as well, and it is worrying, but it's also exciting as well in many regards. And again, for me personally, I'm worried a little bit because again, you don't know what's around the corner. But then when you're hearing of, there is intent and clear intent by Liverpool Football Club, then you get a little bit excited and get a little bit, calm about the situation. But again, it's like, who is going to buy you? What's going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. And it is that thing of, what is next for Liverpool Football Club? And again, it is worried. To be fair, but again, it depends. Qatar wanted Liverpool when the club, no, they did, but I think that was the buy. To be fair, as well, Dubai Investment Capital as well. Yeah, they wanted us back in 2006, 2005, somewhere around there. Arsenal spending money, FSG being a tight give. Jurgen Klopp what he wants as well. To be fair though, it didn't happen overnight though at Arsenal though, did it? Raz, it did not work overnight at Arsenal, and that's the thing. I think that's what people have to realise as well. This is a proper rebuild that's needed for Liverpool. It's not the fact that okay, we sign 3 or 4 midfielders next season, and then bang, Liverpool are back and fighting at 95, 96, 97 points at the top of the league. It might take a season or two, a season at least, potentially. But we hope that it won't take that long and we can just fight again. And who's to say, look, this season has been the most randomest season going ever in the Premier League, and I mean that ever. Who's to say that potentially Liverpool might not get, might come back and get top four? At the minute, it looks impossible. But if Liverpool go on a massive winning streak, which does look unlikely, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if Liverpool go on a massive winning streak, and then you've got Newcastle and United dropping points here and there, could Liverpool get top four? That's another question that needs to be asked, and it is still up for grabs, even though we are so far off of it, and we're ninth in the league at the minute, and of course we've got to get past certain teams. Top four is still there somehow. Somehow it's still there. Doesn't look likely, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't look likely, but it is still there in some regards. And again, when we're hearing the stories come out today about Jude Bellingham, for example, and Christian Volk saying that top four, it doesn't matter if Liverpool get top four or not. Their main priority is Jude Bellingham, no matter what. And can a new ownership help in that regard? Of course they can. We've spoken about money being a problem for Liverpool. Would Man United be not Man United, sorry, would Man City then and Real Madrid be a problem in terms of fighting them for money? No, of course they wouldn't, because Liverpool have now got new ownership in and money to fight and to battle. So then that's not the case. It's then, where does the player want to go? And of course, as we all know, Jude Bellingham wants Liverpool. Just saying. Okay. But great, guys, I want to start a new trend as well. Hashtag Mbappe 2026. That is the new thing. People are going to hate me for that, but again, look, we're having fun, chat. We're having fun, chat. But again, look, I don't think we'll see anything at all now. Being, of course, the hype is now that there is a bid. I don't think we hear anything now properly until March, in my honest opinion. Anyway, but I can't see anything other than a full sale. I absolutely agree, Brian. That's true, but like I said, there's plenty of wealth consortiums willing to spend a lot of more than FSG. We don't need to be state owned, and that's true, Hannah. But again, how many consortiums can get up to 4 billion? That's the problem. That it's not the problem of can consortiums spend more than FSG? Of course, some can. The problem is, can a consortium come in, bid more than 4 billion, and still be competitive? That's the problem right now. And again, like I said in yesterday's video chat, you're putting yourselves in a very small pond when you're talking that 3.5, 4 billion target. That's the only thing I'll say on that. Anyway, but yeah, absolutely. Honestly, FSG would be great if they would just spend some money. Yeah, I would agree, 100%. What else we have? Scroll back up as well quickly. Scroll back up because the chat's uploaded. Bloody hell. Let me quickly go back down. Egyptian Kings in as well, saying big up folks as well. Hannah saying hi to Egyptian as well. Raz saying John Henry got booed by the Red Sox fans for selling their best player. Yep. And then I think he bought someone then for like 30 odd million or something like that, or whatever, or 30 million a year. I'm not too sure on what it was, but it was something like that. What will be, will be. I just hope it's done soon. Best for everyone that we know where we stand. Yeah, exactly. And the sooner it's done, the better. 100% would agree with you with that, Bri. But again, I don't think anything will get done or anything confirmed until around March time, at least. But then again, it has to go through the Premier League. It has to go through certain areas and certain aspects of things as well. Chelsea are paying their money down the drain and getting nowhere. So many alone won't solve everything. Again, FFP is going to be a huge problem for them. And I saw an analysis thing where they were like, there's a reason why there's a reason why Chelsea are offering 6.5 years and 7.5 year deals, because it works out that they're going to be given a player like 10 million a year, or it works out to 10 million a year. Like the Mudryk deal works out to 10 million pounds per year, so that's how they can get around FFP. But the way they're spending at the minute, that Chelsea team, I don't care what anyone says, it still looks like it needs another 350 million. It just looks, it doesn't look right. When you compare the money to what Chelsea have right now, and don't get me wrong, I think Chelsea have loads of injuries. I'm not entirely sure. We'll speak a bit more about that for the Chelsea preview on Friday. But it just feels like the Chelsea they haven't invested well. And that's just my thoughts and opinions. But again, I don't think they have invested that well, if I'm being honest. Guys, I'm excited about the fresh takeover. No Gavi King. What is wrong with you as well? I think that's Egyptian King said. Just give me Jude, Gravadol, and Combe. Let's say Combe. Will be happy as well. No Gavi as well. Gavi signed that new deal unless we're buying 1 billion for Gavi. Bright. Not Mark. Sorry. Again, that's not happening. Mike Gordon gone, basically the number one guy at Liverpool. Yep, he will be leaving at the end of the season. Which again, that's going to be huge to try and replace him. But I'm guessing there is someone there. But again, I'm not entirely sure. If the takeover respects if the takeover respects what the setup is as well. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I get you as well. Um, what the hell? Give me Gavi and Pedri as well. Bloody hell. Could you imagine? Could you imagine, chat? Both Gavi and Pedri for Liverpool. Honestly, I think a couple of midfielders will send us on our way nicely. It will, 100%. But I think there is a bit more needed for Liverpool. Not only midfielders. I think a backup centre half, I think, is needed for Liverpool next season onwards. In particular, anyway, I've just seen McKendall's freaking comment. More King as well. I think it says, "Lol, brother, we are famous Man United. We are going to win the title." No, it's lads. Arsenal are winning the league. If you are a United fan, then thank you very much for popping in as well. And again, all fans are welcome, but again, Arsenal are winning the title, and again, United, and it's just one of those periods, I believe, for Manchester United as well. Again, Ten Hag is doing well at United, but again, I think when Liverpool or City, when City get it together, they'll be gone. I think Arsenal are already gone in many regards. We are getting them all, says Kendo as well. Absolutely. Can also throw in Barella as well, says Egyptian King. Francis, I heard the bid has been accepted. Again, I don't think anything's been accepted yet, my friends. I think we'll, we'll soon hear of a few more things coming out anyway. Big up chat. I hope you're all having a fantastic night anyway. Of course, we haven't spoken about the Wolves game yet. To be fair, but we'll get onto that in a moment. To be fair, big up chat. Thank you, Mark, for putting Jack's link in the comments. The new owners have probably written off this season. Big money happens in the summer. Yeah, I would agree. Again, I think that it is pretty much the summer now. I don't think anyone's coming in January. I say this now. Watch me be completely wrong, and we end up signing someone on the last day of the window. Liverpool is 100 times bigger than Chelsea, and look what they went for. That is true, but there's a misconception with Chelsea, because Chelsea's, if you search it up, Chelsea was bought for 4.5 billion. Now, I think 2.5 billion of that was put on by the UK government. So the consortium that bought Chelsea had to pay it. So again, the actual club was sold for, I think, 2.5 billion, or I think 3 billion, somewhere around there. It's 2.5, 3 billion, somewhere around there. I think another, half a billion or 1.5 billion was brought on anyway. But the UK government, tossed it up to 4.5 billion. So again, a little bit of false pretenses by that. But even still, you look at United. How much will United get sold for? That's another question that I think many people haven't really answered or asked yet. To be fair, but wait till this is all over and we are back where we should be as well. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I can't wait, Mark, as well. Um, if you see Mbappe's mum shouting about France in a Liverpool shirt, then you'll know Mbappe is on his way. As well, says Egyptian King. Albert says, why are the authorities at Liverpool, whether it's Klopp or John Henry, not seeing the disaster looming? If we don't qualify for the Champions League, get a midfielder already. It's not happening, mate. I just think they're more than happy to. The owners are more than happy to let Champions League go, because I don't think they'll be around. No, I don't think they'll be around. They offset the amount of the balance sheet over time as well. Yeah, I agree 100% on that. That's why they're giving those long deals, yeah, but that's just pushing it down the line. Super long contracts and famously poor motivation. Yeah, absolutely. I beg differ. Chelsea will come good. Mark my words. No, I don't think Chelsea will come good. Well, to be fair, we do have the El Clasico on Saturday anyway, between Liverpool and Chelsea. If we all need to buy as much merchandise in the club store, then it must be done. Barella 2024 as well. Obviously, if you guys aren't aware, Jack is a massive Barella fan. There's wanted him at the club for about 2 years now. So again, we'll soon see. I do think Barella will end up going somewhere else, though. I think in the next year or so, maybe Madrid, maybe City, maybe Liverpool, who knows? Even Chelsea potentially. We ain't worth 4 billion really. What would be Klopp's budget be if we were sold for that amount? New owners know they need to spend big as well. We are worth 4 billion. Well, we're worth 4.5 billion. To be fair, as well. Obviously for everything we've won in the past, and what FSG have really done with the club in terms of marketing value and so on as well. I think it's only City. I think it's City, Barca. No, it's United, Barca. I think Real. I think that is worth more than Liverpool. I could be wrong with this. Forbes football clubs. I could be completely wrong with this. Let's have a look. Forbes football. So yeah, so Liverpool are fourth on the list. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man United are ahead of Liverpool in that regard. But Liverpool are the fourth team on the list. So you look at it like that, again, like even that's mental when you look at the other clubs as well. Chelsea had to commit 1.5 billion spending, 3 million plus 1.5 billion as well, says Brian. Yeah, absolutely. What else do we have? Even bringing in a lot of new players, I still think we will struggle. We'll take any new players time to settle in. Exactly, and that's the thing. I think people have to realize that this is a rebuild now, and I mean a proper rebuild for Liverpool Football Club over the next couple of years and so forth. Anyway, but again, it will take time, and it will, of course, potentially be a season or two of struggle, and hopefully then we'll see a bit more progression as well. But sold before the 8 years as well, says Albert, and yeah, but they need the motivation to perform well. They as well, and Egyptian King saying, "If you see my fancy team 11 with the Qataris in charge, it's frightening in a in a good way. Maybe we might do it. If the Qataris bought Liverpool 11, potentially, maybe on a random video. Anyway, but of course, we'll talk a little bit more then about Wolves v Liverpool, and we will speak about Jurgen Klopp's press conference. Of course, today he has said that Darwin Núñez is close to potentially being in contention. Of course, not for this game, but I think Chelsea we're looking more likely in terms of Annie is pretty much close to returning, and of course James Milner and Stefan Basetic as well. Them two both trained, and of course James Milner was in the squad for Brighton anyway, and of course Stefan Basetic as well also trained full yesterday as well. And when Jurgen was speaking about it, of course, he was speaking about tactics in particular, and it is that sense of where he said we need to change things. Now, do we change the 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1? It's an interesting conversation, and it's that sense of I don't think Jurgen believes in the 4-3-3 with the way Liverpool are playing at the moment. And like he said, Liverpool were too easy to get past because once one player was pressing, the whole formation was out of shape and it just didn't work. And it constantly looked like Liverpool didn't have any players to defend with. And I think that was inevitably, say inevitably. I say it was pretty obvious against Brighton. Anyway, the fact that Liverpool shape and just tactics were all over the place for Wolves. Not for Wolves, for Brighton, sorry. And when we're talking about Wolves, they're going to go full on starting 11. We've seen what they was with a mixed team in the first game, but now, of course, they have a chance to play Brighton to go on even further in the FA Cup, and I think Wolves will fully go for this tomorrow night. I think obviously they didn't start with Matthias Nunes. Obviously, Matthias Nunes for me was the best player on the pitch or the best midfielder on the pitch when he came on at Anfield. And again, obviously a Liverpool rumour and targets, and even that you've got potential new players as well for Wolves coming in. They've just signed, or near enough signed, 5 midfielders or 4 or 5 midfielders over the next between January and in the summer as well. So they're doing business under Lopetegui, and of course the more and more weeks then he gets get used to his squad. Of course, I think they just beat West Ham as well over the weekend. So again, Wolves are a very, very dangerous team, and the way Liverpool are playing at the minute, we are the easiest team in the league to play against. So tomorrow could be ugly. Again, it really, really could be ugly. And let me know your guys' thoughts as well, and we'll move on to starting them predictions in a brief moment. But let me know your thoughts on just what team would you put out, because I think many people will have different thoughts. I think some people will be going, oh, bit of mixture, maybe go full strength to play through um, the bad time, and again, maybe experiment a little bit for Chelsea on the weekend. But I think overall, we're just hoping for a better performance against Wolves, because that Brighton performance, like I said on my post match for Brighton, I thought that was the worst game ever in the Jurgen Klopp era in terms of performance. It was shocking. And again, it's whether or not we get a reaction, and I hope we get a reaction, because realistically, look at the amount of times that Liverpool have fought back after a defeat, and that's what I want to see. I want to see a Liverpool side with fight, and that's what we're missing. Even though, of course, look, it's pretty much impossible with our team at the moment anyway. But again, guys, let me know your starting 11 predictions in the comment section down below as well. Let me know your score predictions in the comment section down below for this game. For me, I've gone with full rotation against Wolves. This would be the team that I would personally put out against Wolves tomorrow night. Of course, Kelleher in goal, Calvin Ramsey right back, Nat Phillips, Joe Gomez, and Kostas Tsimikas. Then I'd go with a midfield three, but it could turn into a 4-2-3-1. With Besetic, Naby Keita, and James Milner, and then a front three of Harvey Elliott, Ben Doak, and Cody Gakpo. I think you have to play Cody in this because, again, he needs to get used to the way Liverpool. I say Liverpool play, but he needs to get used to teammates and so on. And it's even that sense of, again, where we might play a strong team. We might be seeing Kanate start. We might be seeing Trent start. We might even see Allison start again. And that's the thing where, again, I don't know what Liverpool are going to do and what Liverpool side is going to show up. Maybe Jurgen's going, look, you're going to play through it. But it's like he said today, not everyone's going to be available from the weekend for this game. So again, I think mixture pretty much on the game. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below, because again, it could be strong, it could be weak. I think it just depends what Jurgen wants to do, because I think once again, is it going to be an easy game for Liverpool? Absolutely not. It's going to be a nightmare tomorrow at times against a Wolves side that, again, very much got robbed at Anfield. Was it last week or the week before? So, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as well. But I will quickly have a look at your chats as well. But worried about tomorrow's game. I am as well, Mark. I do think that Liverpool, we need to react tomorrow. We absolutely need to react. And it is a worrying sign if we don't. Because after that Brighton performance, there needs to be a reaction of some sort. Even, right, it doesn't matter about the result tomorrow, in my opinion. As long as the performance is there. If Wolves beat us, but the performance is there, I'd be happy tomorrow. But if the performance yet again is similar to Brighton, then I'm going to be angry. I think all of us are going to be angry in terms of the fact that we want to see Liverpool fight. We want to see a Liverpool side that all right, we might not be playing good football at the minute, but at least we can show some spirit and some fight, and that's what we're missing at the moment. And it's a freaking annoying. Have to be a mixture. Squad needs to be heavy hitters for Chelsea. Yeah, absolutely, I would agree with you there. Mark as well. We're not capable of overturning this form overnight. It's been going on for months, but I predict we might go to pens for what it's worth as well. I'd like pens. And obviously Kelleher likes pens as well, so we might see that. To be fair, very nice lineup corner as well. As you guys might notice, I didn't put Fabio Carvalho in it. I think Carvalho is going to come on, and we might see a system change. That's why I went for 4-3-3, and then it might be a 4-2-3-1. That we switch in game. Not everyone from the weekend means more injury concerns. Not necessarily. Albert, I think it is just the fact that again with the starting 11 that we have been putting out, it has practically played game in game out over the last couple of weeks since the World Cup return. Anyway, we haven't been switching out players because we can't afford to. In many regards. So again, I don't think there's any more fresh injury concerns. Jurgen said there wasn't any fresh injury concerns. It was just the fact that players might not play and then be used then for Chelsea on the weekend. So again, I think it might just be a bit of mixture. To be fair, but Brian says Kelleher, Trent, Canate, Gomez, Simicas, Milner, Besetic, Keita, Doak, Gakpo, and Carvalho if fit as well. I like that team. To be fair, but Gary's gone Kelleher, Trent, Canate, Phillips, Simicas, Thiago, Besetic, Keita, Gakpo, Doak, and Salah. I think we can all agree. I think all of us are looking forward to Ben Doak potentially starting. Albert says we will be beating Connor potentially. If Wolves control the game and control that midfield like they did at the back end of the game at Anfield, they'll 100% win tomorrow. Performance is low, but worried on new injuries. On if our players come back as good as they were, that is also a worrying factor. If the injury knocks their performances as well, yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like Luis Diaz. If you guys haven't seen Luis Diaz's rehab video that he posted today, he's now not in a brace, which is a good sign. But again, he's not going to play much again this season. I wouldn't think. Maybe he might return towards the back end of the season, but if I'm being perfectly honest, we saw how Jurgen didn't put Harvey Elliott last season back into things because we were keeping him for this year. But with Luis Diaz, I think obviously because he's so important to this Liverpool side, and hopefully Gakpo will be a bit more introduced with the team. Jota potentially being back as well. It'll ease that pain a little bit of not having Luis Diaz around for the season. So I think in particular, I think Luis Diaz will be safe for next season. That's my thoughts anyway. But again, he might come back sooner than expected, potentially. Anyway, but Lopetegui made all that drama to set us up for the replay as well. Yeah, absolutely. Any half-decent managers know how to play against us now as well. Yeah, that's the worrying sign, isn't it, Bright? The fact that everyone knows how to beat Liverpool at the moment anyway. But guys, let me know your score predictions in the comment section down below. For me, I'm going to go... I don't know what to go. I can't go draw because, like Brighton. You know what? I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool. Why not? Yeah, for me, 2-1 Liverpool. Hopefully if that is actually the case, then Jesus Christ. But yeah, 2-1. I think it will go to extra time. And I think, yeah, Ben Doak goal and a Cody Gakpo goal to get his first goal for Liverpool. Why not? Anyway, but let's know a couple of your guys' thoughts anyway. 3-1 Wolves says Brian. I actually love the optimism, Brian. Liverpool 1-0 says Jack as well. Mark says get rid of zonal mark and man as well. I think plenty of people have that thought as well. 2-1 Wolves as well. And yeah, Avon's gone with a 4-3 on pens. Is that to Wolves or to Liverpool? And let me know as well. But Jack says hopefully we see a bit of a tongue. Hopefully we see an improved performance once the players know their place is in danger with new investment. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like I said, that's all I want tomorrow is a performance. Don't care about the result. It's just about the performance. And that's the main thing. No extra time, straight to penalties, is it? So, well, Jesus Christ, 2-1 normal time. Bugger it. We're just gonna go 2-1 normal times. I didn't know they scrapped extra time in the FA Cup, Albert. Thank you for letting me know. I thought the extra time was still a thing. I don't want to see it but 2-0 Wolves as well, says Mark. Yeah, I think plenty of people will have that same reaction as well, a chat anyway. But I am going to leave it there for tonight anyway. Guys, big thank you to each and every single one of you for tuning in as well. And again, big thank you for the from me for the massive support on the channel lately as well. I do very much appreciate it as well. Let me double check what likes we're on for the video. I think we're on 15 likes. So if we can get to 20, then that'd be very much appreciated. As always, like I say, that's always the aim, try and get 20 or try and get the nearest 5 anyway, or naught that we can do. But again, all the likes are appreciated as always, because again, I'm just a random person rambling on about the football club that I love and we love as well. And again, it is a frustrating time at the minute, but again, hopefully better times ahead for Liverpool. And of course, hopefully we'll have some news in the next couple of weeks over a potential bid and a potential sale as well of Liverpool Football Club. But again, of course, we'll have that straight away as soon as we hear any news in particular, of course. But again, guys, we'll be live tomorrow for a post-match reaction to the Wolves game. And then, of course, it will just be chat and talk about, of course, Chelsea on the weekend, which, of course, that's going to be a very interesting game. Of course, Jurgen Klopp versus Graham Potter, and again, El Shitico, as the whole world likes to call it at the moment anyway. But yeah, if there's anyone new around here as well, then please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button as well. Jackson, great show, chat, lovely night as well, night folks. Cheers, Connor, chat as well, walk alone, the gaming as well, great stream. Let's have a great win tomorrow. Thanks everyone as well. Yeah, absolutely, 1000% agree with you, chat as well anyway. But like I said, we will see you tomorrow. I've been Connor from the Cock Council. I'll see you all then. Ta-ra.